Hello.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Off to a rough start. We're 36 minutes late.
Ay.
It's okay.
Story of my life.
Story of my life. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Tired.
Yeah.
Throat's a little sore. I don't know why. I feel like
I
I was talking a lot. And
same.
yeah.
I feel like I have been talking nonstop since 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you narrating a movie
I sure am.
today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. So you got to preserve your voice.
I should be drinking tea. I should be wearing scarves.
Some
I
honey.
should really be doing more than
Yeah.
I am. But yeah. How's it been going? Have your parents given you any insight on
My,
the set?
I think they got home last night and their like living room was in not disarray, but like there was all these paintings up and stuff, and
Yes.
just like it's a little. I think they're realizing how big of a deal this is to have a
Right.
movie at their house.
Well, my friend Chris, as of Chris and Kelly,
Yep.
was helping Peter yesterday with art. So Chris and Kelly are very artistic. Like if you came to their house, you'd be like, oh, this makes sense that Peter chose them. They just have such great taste. Chris is a like natural designer via work.
Okay.
And so he has just the right eye for things. So I'm excited to see it tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow.
Cool.
But yes, I did hear that they were going over it, and I don't know if they were bringing art or if they were rearranging. I'm not sure what it was, but
I just realized that my event that I was supposed to have tomorrow was canceled, so I could
see you
technically
there.
I could be available.
Peter Johnson here. Oh, okay. Speaking of Chris and Peter, apparently last time we recorded, I was incorrect about the
Okay.
bowling, and it was actually Peter who broke 200.
And you
I
said
said it
Chris?
was Chris.
Oh man,
I don't know.
you
why
got to
I
give
thought
credit where
that.
credit's due.
Chris came with the bowling shoes and his own ball, and I think I just assumed he's here
Yeah.
to show up.
Yeah.
You know, like he showed up to play.
He was just a poser, though.
I guess he was a complete loser. And no, just kidding.
So Peter got the 201.
Peter was the one who broke 200.
Nice.
Yeah. And thank you, Peter, for listening to this podcast.
And fact checking.
I said this was actually a test of friendship to see which of you guys actually listened. And since Peter had, the fact check, that meant he listened.
Yeah. So Peter and Shannon
I knew it was Peter all along.
That's our go-to fact. You knew for sure. Okay, we're at episode 67.
Okay, 67.
How was your weekend? We're on a little bit of a tight.
I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit of a roller coaster.
Okay.
So Friday, I'm just going to share my weekend. I'm just going to get into it.
You're going to actually share your weekend this time?
I'm going to talk about
Usually you just make stuff up on the spot.
Today I'm telling the truth. Friday was the last day of school for Piper.
Yep.
Alice had her 8th grade graduation Thursday night. So she was like, school's done.
Yeah.
Friday, Piper still had a half day. So I dropped Piper off.
Friday was also Easton's last day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I saw him that night. So I'm curious if there's similar morning. Go ahead.
Well, mourning as in sadness.
Sadness, yes.
Yeah, a little bit. Piper was kind of like, I kind of want to go back. I think she likes structure. She does well, and I think they're excited to be at home for summer. But there is a little bit of that. On Friday, so I dropped Piper off. On Friday, I had an appointment with Allie with a counselor.
Okay.
So it's the first time we are talking to somebody. It was an interesting experience.
Where did you find this person?
She was a referral from a friend.
Okay.
Whose kids go to counseling. So I kind of was like, okay, this is somebody who she knows could be good with this. The counselor was, she was great, but she wasn't very warm and fuzzy. And I think for Alice, that would have been helpful. I think it would have been nice if somebody had come in and been a little bit more like doting and a little bit like coddling, which is actually funny I'm saying that, because what the counselor said to me was that long story short, I'm basically enabling the behavior. And
she told you that you are enabling. Okay.
In a way, she drew a diagram and she said, every time that you are supporting this behavior that is actually illogical, you are enabling it. It's like she doesn't use the word enabling, but she said it's the brain. Our brain is giving a message. So the example of, Alice has showered, she's cleaned everything, she asked to shower again before bed. That's not logical. She doesn't need to do that. But when you allow her to, you are confirming that the illogical thought is actually truth.
Okay.
So I'm creating this thought process in her brain. I'm not creating it. I am encouraging it.
Okay.
And she said a lot of times families have this tendency to want to protect the peace. So if somebody's getting upset or worked up, our thing is like, okay, what can we do to calm this,
right,
to create the peace? And she said, actually, we need to feel the pain And unfortunately, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to feel the pain and the discomfort of your child not getting to do what she wants to do. And a lot more of that conversation, it made a lot of sense. It resonated. And so the next thing is Chad and I are going to meet with just her, the counselor.
Okay.
And talk about, just as a family unit, how we can start to practically put these things into practice.
Okay. So were you doing the session with Allie and the therapist?
Yes.
So you were there, and was she talking to both of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when she gives you that feedback, is she saying that in front of Allie? Wow. That's interesting.
It wasn't received well.
Yeah.
You know, on the way home, Allie just, and still Allie struggles to see where there's even like a problem. Like there's still kind of like, and I think what she thought is she was going to maybe be greeted by somebody who was going to give her some actionable steps, that when she's feeling a certain way, here are some things we can do to, you know, whatever, that combat that. And what she heard was the lady's like, she's going to have to experience pain. That was kind of her verbiage. And I get it. I get it from Allie's perspective of like, yeah, that was it. I could see it not clicking. I could see Allie actually shutting down during the conversation and getting very reserved. And so in my head, I think I'm gonna definitely share that feedback with the counselor in a kind way, but also use this counselor to help Chad and I as more. So it's kind of like I think my dad pointed this out. He's like, it's kind of like when you have a dog and they're misbehaving. You know, Cesar Millan would be the dog trainer, and it's nothing about the dog; it's the parents. It's the like leadership and how that comes down. So I really think that's where this is gonna be fixed from. So more to come.
That is interesting though, that she's the therapist is like a child specialized therapist, and it sounds like she's going to give the child any advice.
Yeah,
or like
There was
any
a little bit. So originally, and I was a little caught off guard actually, because I thought this was just a meet and greet and that it was supposed to be only like the appointment said 15 minutes. So I thought it was just going to be a quick thing, maybe some assessments. And she did do some assessments. And even with that, I was a little bit like, I don't know. I don't love the fact that you asked her 6 questions that she's filling out online. A, she may be interpreting it weird. B, is she thinking just in the moment versus long time, you know, reflecting over a while. What she did tell Allie is that Allie is capable of overcoming this. And her way of saying it, and she's like, this is, you know, you didn't test positive for this. And so she's like, you can change these things. Like what's happening right now is totally fixable. The challenge is, if you don't fix it, then you're going to become an adult who is very low functioning. She's like, it was kind of just a little tough love, you know? So for my child, that's not the best way to approach her. And I think that works for some kids. Like some kids they can hear that. She was just not in a place or a mindset of like receiving that.
Wow.
So I think it was a little harsher than
we anticipated. That's intense.
Yeah, it was a little intense. But the weekend was good, and like as a whole, she's actually hasn't been having a lot of tendencies that feel like hard to deal with, you know. So that's part of my conversation too, is like we don't see these behaviors all the time,
right?
So how do we make sure we're still encouraging this little bit of what it is it's building resilience, it's experiencing pain and overcoming it and being like, I did that, and now, you know, she used the example, she's like, you don't want to be a 23-year-old who can't go to somebody's messy house because there's in a dirty environment. Like you still need to be with people despite that,
right?
And that's the part that we worry about, you know, is that relational aspect. So anyways, that's the start of this, not the start of this journey, but that's part of the journey. And so I'll share more as we go. Hopefully next week after my meeting with Chad and her, it'll have some more updates. So that was Friday morning. Friday afternoon, Piper went to a friend's house. They did an end of the year pool party. It was super fun. It was cold. I was like, I can't believe these girls are all swimming, but children don't feel temperature, so it's fine. And then that night we went and celebrated my friend Eleanor's birthday.
Nice.
And it was really actually like both Chad and I are like pleasantly surprised. So Eleanor's husband, Amos, texted Chad and I and just said, hey, it's Eleanor's 40th birthday. Would you guys be free to join us for dinner on Friday night? And so I'm assuming, he's telling this to absolutely everybody in her friendship world. So as we're getting ready to go, Chad's like, so who's going? I'm like, I know nothing. And he's like, is it a surprise? I'm like, I know nothing. Like, I don't even know what we're doing. So we ended up meeting at Devil's Reef. And have you ever been there on Upper Alley?
Cool little speakeasy. Not really speakeasy, but that kind of vibe. It's a
little hard to find. Like it's not very noticeable from the outside.
Yeah.
You walk, it's pitch black.
Like a tiki bar.
Yes, it's a tiki bar. Rum is their jam. And so all of their menu, like the drinks, it's like the strength of the drink is based on how many skulls it has after it, you know? So anyways, what was really fun, we get there, it's Eleanor and Amos, and then it's Sydney, who I love and adore. And then our friend Paul, who we all used to be at the same church together. And just like the perfect balance of personalities. And it was small. It was just us 6.
Yeah.
So we spent the whole night just chatting and eating and talking about life. And I think we were there from like 6:30 till 10 p.m. Like we stayed for like almost 4 hours.
Wow.
Hanging out
at Devil's Reef full time? Did you get food and drinks or just drinks?
We did get food and drinks.
Was the food good?
It was okay. Chad and I share like a caprese sandwich.
Okay.
I don't think you go there for the food.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. The ambiance, the drinks.
Yes. Yeah. And then Eleanor had nachos and had some of those. It's fine.
Picked off them a little bit.
Yeah.
I love nachos.
I know, me too. That was my Friday.
Sweet. We were on Anderson Island for the weekend.
Oh, nice. The whole weekend.
Friday to Sunday. So Friday we took the ferry out there. And you've been out there, you know how the ferry situation can be a little stressful.
I don't love that.
Have I told you about our encounter with the ferry lady?
I absolutely remember this. Shocking.
Yeah, she was there again.
Okay.
This is the lady who said, "You think just because I'm a woman, I don't know what I'm doing?" That lady. And she was again. We escaped scotch free or whatever this time.
Yeah.
But we did see her chewing somebody out this time as well.
I bet there's one a ride.
Yeah.
She gets somebody.
She's just kind of a grumpy lady, which maybe she likes it. Maybe she enjoys the thrill of it. I don't know. So we took the ferry out there, and then we hung out with my parents, and Easton and Finn were out there that night as well. Nice. And Easton, with it being the last day of school, because it's the last day of school, also the last day at his school.
Okay, that's a big deal.
Yeah, because he's moving schools,
right? And
he was pretty sad when he first got there. But I think we were able to cheer him up and distract him a little bit. So played some baseball with him, and then we watched Sandlot, which was a classic movie, and then had Papa Murphy's for dinner. Nice. And I had a question for you, being, what is your favorite pizza chain?
Pizza chain,
not like a fancy one-off pizza place.
This is like a Papa John's or a Little Caesar, something like that.
Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa Murphy's, Costco Pizza.
Okay,
all options on the table.
Here's my go-to. It's Papa John's thin crust sausage and onions.
Really? Mm-hmm. So you got the crust and the toppings down.
Could tear that up. I love it.
That sounds good. I'll have to try that. I don't think I've had their thin crust, and you said sausage and onion?
That's it.
Really?
It's that simple.
Okay, cool.
It's that, if you want to show me a good time, you've got that pizza, you've got a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And some board games.
Nice.
That's my Friday night.
Love it.
Would love it.
I love pizza.
What's yours?
I should have prepared an answer. I really love pizza. So it's really hard for me to pick.
But what do you guys order from the most? Like, there's got to be a place you guys typically go to.
Well, normally we'd go off to like a one-off place. Like there's a place in Renton called Smoking Monkey, and it's like a one-off place. But chain-wise,
classic pizza name.
Chain-wise, Papa Murphy's would be one of the most frequent. Take and bake.
Wow.
I love Papa Murphy's. I love Costco pizza so much.
That's amazing.
I never really had Papa John's, but I feel like Papa John's is pretty good.
I'll tell you, my kids have kind of shifted us into Little Caesars because I think they get Little Caesars at school. And Piper loves the cheese pizza.
The little cheese cups at Little Caesars are pretty good too. Yeah. Brian hasn't had those yet. We were talking about it. We had a big pizza conversation on Friday on the way to the ferry.
Do you typically go thin or thick?
Just regular.
Oh.
Neither thin or thick.
Just normal.
Just whatever standard crust comes on it.
Okay.
I do also love like Domino's.
Yeah.
The podcast I listen to has a lot of Domino's ads recently, and I'm kind of craving Domino's now. So I could eat pizza every day of my life, and I'd be happy.
All I've had today is a protein bar, so any of this is sounding.
I know. I've had a smoothie, no like solid food yet today.
Oh my gosh! It's 3 p.m.
I know. We both need to eat something. That's it though. We hung out with the nephews and watched the Sandlot. Ate some pizza.
Cute.
It's a great night. That was Friday. How was your Saturday?
So Saturday, I went for a walk. We ordered some Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Okay, cool.
Pretty common in our house on a Saturday. Chad runs out and grabs that for everybody. And so kind of a bummer. I've shared with you, I don't know if I've said anything on the podcast, but my mom's been battling with her health for a lot of this last year. And most recent in the past few months, she's been kind of in and out of the hospital. She was in there for about a week, and then she went home, was out for a week, and then on Saturday woke up not feeling good, went back to the ER, and ended up she's still there, staying in the hospital.
Wow. So, on Monday, she's still there today?
Today, she's still there, yeah.
So
went in on Saturday, and second night there. So that was a not good day as far as like, she just, it was pretty drastic how bad Saturday was, and then how much better she was feeling on Sunday. So Saturday's symptoms were high blood pressure, having a hard time catching her breath, chest pain. So all like respiratory, cardiovascular, which is just scary. And that is something she kept vocalizing, is like she felt scared. And when so it's like you already are struggling to breathe. And so your heart is like racing, and then you feel scared. So you're anxious, like just all of that. But felt like that consistently for like hours. So before that happened, so we had breakfast in the morning, and then the movie that we have coming up, I went to Peter's house and I was running some lines with him, just kind of going over how he wants the narrator's voice to sound. And while I was there, my dad messaged and said, "Hey, I'm taking her to the hospital. So just a heads up." Like, I was supposed to actually go to their house and hang out with my mom when my dad went and got a haircut. He's like, "Just a heads up, we're not going to be here. We're going there." So then we were kind of on standby about what was going to happen with her. So we tried to just kind of keep filling our day. Chad and I took the girls and played pickleball. There was a lot of, it was June, what's today's date? The 16th. So it was June 14th.
Okay.
So across the nation, we had protests going on. And so after we played pickleball, we went to Antique Sandwich Shop, which is on Pearl, and surrounded.
Really?
Yes. And not only that, but every car that drove by was like, I think it's all in, everybody was very positive and they were supporting each other. And, but it was like every car was like laying on the horn, which I just thought, this is kind of a funny way of showing your support, because it's actually hurtful. Like, it hurts ears. People are standing there,
was there like a march going down that street, or were they just stationary?
Marches. They were stationary on every corner of the cross street.
Gotcha.
So there was just traffic flowing, coming to and from Reston, going down Pearl. So we sat in the sandwich shop, not realizing what was going on around us. And the whole time it was just like, honk, honk, just like over the girls were like, I'm so overstimulated right now. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was a little bit hesitant. Chad's department had done just some precautionary training about these protests in the event that there's any sort of violent acts. And so I was on guard because I just knew that had happened. And so I felt a little bit anxious, but really the reality is like, it's such a beautiful thing when people are just speaking up with what they believe. And
totally.
I know we don't do a ton of politics on here purposely. I feel like you and I have been intentional about that, but it is just, I think it's a beautiful thing when your community rallies together and is sending the right messages.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
I was thinking about with, in the media, we see the extremes. Right?
Yeah.
Like this on any videos we see online, like so much of it that the news puts out is so like it's showing the left that are all these crazy rioters, like throwing glass bottles at people, and then it's showing on the right these police officers that are shooting innocent people with rubber bullets. Like, it's showing both sides, such the fringes, where it's like in reality, most of the millions of people that were protesting were very, very peaceful and were speaking they were there to use their voice and to use their body to show that they're not happy with things that are happening. So
exactly. Yeah. So so that was good. And I think it's actually like, Chad and I don't talk a ton of politics, and so sometimes I worry with my kids specifically, like they just I need to do a little bit better about having conversations with them, because I just feel like, Pipes gets a little bit nervous. Like, what is happening? There's people are shouting and there's honking, and it seems scary almost, but really trying to just like educate them on here's what this is and here's why they're doing it, So it was good. And then after that, I took the girls to the movies. We went and saw Lilo and Stitch.
Nice.
Which, have you seen that?
The live action version? I've
Yeah.
not. I saw the OG version.
Okay. Yes,
decades
it was
ago.
live action. It was actually really cute. So I recommend it.
Add it to the list.
Add it to your list. It's still in theaters. You can see it in theaters.
Okay. Cool.
So we did that, and then that night, so on the way home, I called my dad, and he was like, "Okay, she's in the hospital." My dad then wasn't feeling well, and he's like, "I'm feeling exhausted," and so he said, "There's a few things she's asking for at the hospital." So I ended up taking the girls home, dropping them off, picking up Chad. We rode to my dad's house, grabbed some things for my mom, and then we went and visited her in the hospital. And it was hard. It was a tough visit. She was really not in a good place, and I was so grateful. The reason I want to share this is because I actually was so grateful for Chad in that moment. He was just great. He held her hand and he told her not to be scared, and getting emotional. But it was good. Like, I'm an only child, and so I don't have anybody else. My dad wasn't there, and so I just got to watch him being so loving and so caring, and I was just so overwhelmed with gratitude. So sorry, didn't expect to get on here and cry today, but it really was a beautiful
Perfect
thing.
timing for Father's Day yesterday.
It was. He's not on social media. He's not doing any of that right now. So I didn't do a big post about it, but this is my way of sharing it right now. So so yeah, it was good. And you know, she's just gone through so much health stuff. You're just kind of like, it just feels so unfair that she's had to go through so much stuff. So yeah, it was a little bit of a tough evening. I went home just feeling really tired and drained and just sad and scared, as she was scared, so it made me a little worried. And he was kind of sharing some things. Chad was just from the medical perspective of, like, you know, what these things mean. And so luckily she got through that night, as far as, like, she got a good night's sleep. She got good rest. The breathing treatments they were giving her really helped. And so the next day we got to see her, and she was like, it was like not 180-degree turn, you know, like not fully recovered, but like a good, I don't know, 30% better than she was. You know, there was definitely improvement. So all that.
Were your daughters there with you on Saturday?
No. And I'm really glad I didn't take them with me, because in the past few weeks we have brought them, and there's been a couple times, one with Allie in particular, that there's just moments where you're like, oh, you don't need to see this. Like,
it's really hard to see your grandparents in a really hard, like a bad health situation.
Yeah.
It's like with your parents. I mean, I know, like, my parents and Brian's parents have both this last year had a lot of stuff with their parents that they're having to work through.
Right.
And it's, when you're a child of someone, that's something you end up doing. When your parents get old, you help them and you take care of them. Seeing your grandparents is almost like a different thing that like grandkids, if you can, I mean, I don't know if I have an actual opinion here, but if you can avoid having your the grandchildren see your grandparents like that,
I know.
like that's tough. That's tough to see.
Because my mom's always had poor health, and so I'm so used to it that, like, I forget that. I actually am a little bit desensitized, and I have no qualms at hospitals. And I think I didn't realize, like, taking my sensitive 13-year-old who has some OCD tendencies and is terrified of needles and is on edge emotionally, I did not think of the impact that would have on her. And so one of the visits we did, the ER as a whole was intimidating to walk through.
There's so many people with injuries and
and so so there's a fine line to that, because I'm like, this is our reality. People get sick and grief happens. You know, we've lost people in our lives, and we have to experience that. And so but I didn't take them Saturday. I'm really glad I didn't. Sunday, we did go and visit her, and she was in much better place. And so that was that was helpful. So anyways, that was my Saturday.
Oh my goodness. Well, Christine, if you're listening to this, we're thinking about you.
Yes.
It's hard. We hope you feel better as soon as possible. Okay, Saturday we woke up on the island. We took Stevie to the dog park on Anderson Island.
Oh, that's fun.
There were no dogs there. So she just ran around.
Have we talked about this before, where Anderson Island's like aren't they kind of strict about dogs?
They are. They're not super
Okay.
dog friendly. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the parks you can't have dogs, which is
Yeah.
kind of a bummer. But there
Right.
is a great dog park,
Okay.
which we've gone to before. And last
Nice.
time we were there, there were a lot of dogs there, but
Okay.
this time there were not.
Oh,
So
bummer.
she just ran
Have a
around
good
and
way.
threw a ball. It was great. We played pickleball with my parents. Got some pickleball in, which is
On
always
Anderson
blessed.
Island?
On the Anderson Island, yep.
Fun.
There's two different places with courts.
Okay.
And so you just kind of go and see which one is empty. And we played
That's
for
awesome.
probably an hour with my parents. It was good. And then we played a game called Zine Check, which is a family game that Brian's family plays. And we were teaching my parents for the first time.
Okay.
So
is it cards? Is it
it's
like a board game?
It's cards. It's kind of like a gin rummy themed game.
Nice.
You're making sets and runs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I like those.
played that. And then we kind of just hung out with my parents. We made tacos for dinner, and then we played Clue to end off the night.
Love a
We
good
played Clue lately.
I have not played it, but have I ever told you that's like a dream party of mine is to play live action Clue?
Oh yeah. That'd be
Madison
awesome.
Square would be really fun.
That'd be amazing. I wonder because I know there's all sorts of murder mystery packs you can buy.
Right.
I wonder if there is like a Clue version.
Okay, so
I bet there is.
I don't think you need one.
Okay.
I've thought about this. I'm not going to take up too much time, but all you would need to do is to come as a character and to bring a weapon.
Okay.
And then you would have like whatever event space you're at, you would designate spaces.
Okay.
And then you would have dice and you would roll your dice and you would move physically to those spaces.
Yep.
And then I would say, okay, it's Austin with the flower pot in the kitchen.
Okay.
And I would use the people and the weapons that they brought as my guesses.
Okay. I like it.
Easy.
So you just follow the same order of operations.
Rules,
yeah.
But you bring your own weapon and character.
Okay.
And then you would put all the, you know how you take one you would just write it all down.
Yeah.
And then take one from each and put it in the envelope.
That kind of sucks if somebody has to die though. Because you have to end it in a murder, right?
Somebody would have to be a murderer.
Murderer. Doesn't somebody die?
Well, but that's never.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. It's never. You don't know who dies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make that happen.
So just saying, I've thought about it. If you couldn't tell.
Not to brag, I won Clue.
Oh, you did.
And I won Zine Check.
Wow.
And I dominated pickleball.
Oh.
So I was feeling pretty good about myself that day. And then the next day we played Zine Check again with Brian's mom, and she crushed us. Oh. So I was humbled.
Okay.
Sunday. Yeah. So let me just go into my Sunday real quick.
Pride comes before the fall.
Yes. So Sunday I did a little run in the morning. Brian's parents came over for Father's Day.
Still at Anderson.
Still in Anderson Island. Yep. They came over.
Good.
We went on a long walk. We walked to a house that was for sale on the beach, which is kind of cool to walk through.
Yeah.
And then we walked back along the beach, back to the house. We played more Zine Check. We had a lovely steak dinner. Ooh, it was delicious.
Love it.
We made these bacon wrapped dates that are a hit. So good.
I've had things like that.
They're incredible. Delicious. You use toothpicks to make them.
Yep.
We were playing our game and found Stevie over on the other side of the deck eating these bacon wrapped dates from a plate, and she definitely swallowed. Not definitely, very, very likely swallowed at least a toothpick, and that's not good for a dog to swallow a toothpick. So we Googled it, and it's like saying we should take her to the urgent care, but it also said also just keep a close eye on your dog, see if they start acting weird at all. So we were just on high alert the rest of the day. This was probably around noon this happened, and the rest of the day we were stressing out, and she was super high energy. We kept giving her bread to kind of that's supposed to help soften her stomach lining if there is a sharp thing in there. And then she was normal, and this morning she seemed a little low energy, but she was also early morning. So, and Brian texted me that she pooped and it's all good.
Oh, great.
So hopefully,
what a good ending.
Hopefully we're good. Hopefully we're out, in the clear.
Yeah.
But we're still a little stressed about it because that could be bad. Okay, so did that. We it was Father's Day, and all of our gifts to our dads were pizza themed. So Brian's on the same pizza line.
Right.
Brian's gift to his dad was with his siblings. They all got him an uni pizza oven.
Oh.
Have you seen those?
No.
That's what my parents have at their house. The little pizza oven
mini
thing.
Stove type things.
Yep. Yeah. So that was the gift to Brian's dad, and then for my dad, I got him a bunch of pizza boxes with a sticker, a custom sticker on it. That's
so
a picture of him, and then it's his name is Slim Pappy. So each box says Pappy's Pizza. So it's these little custom
That's
pizza
amazing.
boxes.
That
so
is so thoughtful.
yeah, that was my mom's idea. I'm not going to take credit for it.
Okay, well,
Her idea, my execution of
love
the idea.
it. That's a great team.
So yeah, we did that. We dinner or late lunch, kind of brunch, and then we drove home. We took the 5 o'clock ferry, and there was this house that we really want to check out in Edmonds, Linwood area,
Okay.
which is deep.
Yes.
Really deep. But
Especially
we're like,
compared to Anderson Island.
yes. So it took an hour and a half to get there
Okay.
from after the ferry.
Yeah.
And we just really want to check out this house. It had a pool and a really cool house.
Okay.
And the price range is in our budget.
Interesting.
We are like, it was a really cool house.
Yeah.
If we were looking currently to move, it could be a contender. There are a lot of factors. We're not looking to move right now, number one.
Okay.
Number two, it's in not in a location that we really want to be.
Okay.
Like, we love Edmonds, but it's so far for both of our commutes.
Right.
There's no garage, which is kind of a bummer. The pictures made it look like there was a garage, but there wasn't.
Oh, weird.
There wasn't a primary like bedroom. There's like kind of some other boxes that didn't check, so it didn't make the impulsive cut that we thought it might have.
Just
we were already
for the best.
Yeah. So we're not. Yeah. So we checked out the house. I'm sitting, and then we went home and called it a night, unpacked, and got ready for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long day.
Long day. Yes, we did a lot. Sunday.
You only
yesterday
left on the 5 p.m. ferry.
Yeah.
So what time did you get to Linwood?
We got to Linwood at like 6:45,
Oh, wow.
7, and then we got home at like a little after 8.
Yeah. It's late.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how was your Sunday?
Sunday was great. So we woke up and it was Father's Day. Chad and I did a little walk together, and then he took Stella on a run after we walked. And so while he was gone, the girls and I like set up his gifts. They had slept in, so they weren't even awake when we went for our walk. Set that up, and so he opened his little presents, and then we got ready for the day, and we went back to Grit City Breakfast, which I had mentioned a couple episodes ago. We went and tried
at the Tacoma Comedy Club.
Tacoma Comedy Club in 6th Ave. So here's what I will say about it. It's great. It's delicious. You cannot be in a hurry when you go there.
Yeah.
And so we went with plenty of time this time. The last time we went, we were in a rush, and that was our bad. This time we learned, okay, that's a theme here, but the food was great. The service is awesome. Like, they're so kind there. So yeah, I would keep going back. I just know it's going to be like, we're here to enjoy it.
Yeah, there's definitely places like that.
Yep. And then we went to church after that, and then we went to visit my mom for a little bit, and then my dad came over, so we did a late lunch with him at our house. We had gotten some tri-tip from Costco, and we did I do this like broccoli avocado salad. I can't remember if we made it for you guys. And we had like sweet potato fries, and yeah, it was great. It was a really nice afternoon. So my dad and I sat outside and talked for a little bit, and then had lunch. And then when he headed out, my family went over to Gig Harbor. We did a little bit of shopping out there. And then we ended at Menchie's, the frozen yogurt place.
Love Menchie's.
Very good.
When I first got my driver's license when I was 16, I would drive very far to go to Menchie's.
You know, it's one of those things, I never crave it. I'm never like, oh, I want frozen yogurt. But it's when I'm there and I'm eating it where I'm like, this is really nice.
So good.
Do you have a flavor?
I go chocolatey. I get like either cake batter froyo or maybe like a cheesecake froyo.
Okay.
And then anything peanut butter, like chocolate like Reese's peanut butter cups, the little caramel turtles, maybe some cookie dough, some hot fudge on it, just super chocolatey, decadent. It's so good. It's probably 1,000 calories, but it's incredible.
Okay.
What do you get?
Well, I go opposite. I go fruity. I go like they have the Dole Whip. I'm loving that. Anything like pineapple-y, lemon. I love like a little citrusy. So I did that with cheesecake bites, strawberries, and a little like Cool Whip on top.
That's more Brian's speed.
It was a great little combo.
Yeah. Except
for Piper didn't get any. She just got toppings. And then she tried mine, and she was like,
she just got toppings?
She just got toppings. This is my child. So Pipey was dairy-free most of her like childhood.
Yeah.
And then she because she had a dairy allergy. She tested out of it, but because she didn't grow up with ice cream and cheese, she just doesn't usually do that. She just doesn't care for it. But we got in her little sample cup. She literally tried the Dole Whip one. And we were like, you can still get it. And she still went with toppings, which was like Oreo. I was like, I could have just bought you Oreo cookies at the gas station. Like, we didn't need to do this. But anyways, it's fine.
She might need some tough love from your therapist.
Next time, I'll be like, I'm going to have you experience some pain. And I'm going to say, no.
You have to get yogurt.
I will not share with you. Because that's what ended up happening. But it's fine. And then we got home probably a little bit after 7:38. And the girls went for a little bike ride around the neighborhood. Chad and I just like hung out in the garage. He did his golf simulator. We all hit the balls a few times, but I was just.
Have you hit it 100 yet?
I haven't hit it 100 yet, and it's so, to me, there's so many like pieces that I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
it's like turn your wrist, arm is straight.
Yes,
turn your hips, come back. It's like there's so many things that I'm thinking about, and I'm just like, I can't do this.
I have a note in my phone that's just called golfing tips. And these are all tips that Chad gave me.
That's amazing.
Literally, we went to the driving range. This note is from 2020, September 30th, 2020. And we must have gone to the driving range at Meadow Park. And these are all just tips that he gave me. But it's a lot to keep track of.
It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so much. And he does it so often. So I think it's easier. But for newbie, I'm just like,
yeah.
So, anyways,
I think it's eventually like swimming. Like I was really struggling to swim.
Okay.
I think once you get just the form, the hang of, like once you get it the first time, like it takes a while to get to that point.
Yes.
Once you get the form, I think it's way more just natural after that.
I think so. Yeah. That was my Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of 1,000 calories.
Yep. Still going.
How's it going?
It's going strong. On Saturday, I think it was a tough one to get. No,
I was going to say
Friday.
On Anderson Island.
Yeah, so I did a run yesterday morning, so that was a lot of calories. But no, it was Friday. Yeah, Friday night, because I didn't do any really workout on Friday. I just did a walk.
You played baseball.
I did have my watch going during when I was.
Is there a baseball setting?
I just did other.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was also like, my mom needed help at like unloading stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it. So there was like a 30, 45 minute period where I was just like running around the house, like putting stuff away and things, and that helped. But it was like 11 p.m. and I was at like 950 calories.
Ooh.
So I had to go on a long walk, and it's so dark there at night. Like it's literally pitch black.
There's no street lights.
No street lights. So I just have my little flashlight in front of me to make sure. But there's like a lot of wildlife out there too. So I'm hoping that I don't get attacked by something. But I finished my 1,000 calories at like 11:40 p.m. on Friday night.
That's one of nature's things that like blows my mind.
What?
How does wildlife get to those islands?
I have no idea. It's just there.
Like, does anybody know that?
I think deer can swim, right?
That's weird.
I've never seen a deer swimming. But I actually don't know what wildlife. I know there's for sure a lot of deer. Yeah. I don't really know. There's probably coyotes and different stuff out there. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how did anything get anywhere? Noah's Ark, right?
Listen, we don't have time for this today, but
wait, hold on. While we're on Noah's Ark, because have you seen the AI rendering videos of like these like Bible stories and like historical events and stuff?
No, but I'm seeing some AI videos that are very concerning on like how real they are.
It is crazy. There's like these videos where it's like when Jesus turned the water into wine at a wedding. Yeah. And it's like they're all like influencer style. Okay. So like Jesus will be have the phone up with like he'll be like, what's at this what's up guys? I'm at this wedding and it's going off, like everybody's dancing, having a good time.
We're cooking.
Yeah, Mary comes into the frame and she's like, oh, we are out of wine, blah blah blah. And it just shows like him like turning the water. He's like, I hope this works. It's very like influencer style, very funny. You should look them up.
Please, if it comes up into your feed, please send it to me. That is hilarious. No, one of the conversations we had at dinner with Eleanor's was about AI and how there's this prediction about how in fairly soon, it's going to be very hard to know what is real and what isn't.
I think it's already there.
But that is like terrifying because right now we're like, oh, everything's at our disposal. We can Google something and the answer pops up. Now it's going to be like, I don't know if this is real or not. Yeah, I don't know. That's scares me. Also,
we are very, very close from not being able to believe anything we see.
Isn't that so
online.
Wild?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Which is scary for like politics, right? Like if if people can use it for creative outlets, great. Yeah. But if you're like seeing a video of a politician saying something that they never actually said, like that can really sway things.
Totally.
Like it's.
But also, don't you feel like people are going to get out of it like that? Like you're gonna
Totally.
be like, that wasn't me.
I
I
said
never
that.
said that.
I said that to Ryan yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, there's this. Yeah, like what if something came out about somebody that they said this thing? Like there's, I won't go into that, but and it's like, yeah, if that happened, that person would just say, oh no, I didn't say that. It's just AI.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Between AI and animals mysteriously showing up on islands,
yeah,
I've got too much to think about.
Just too much on our plates.
It's
I don't know
too
how
much.
we're gonna deal
I
with
don't
this.
know. No, that is something that with islands, I'm like, okay. Can somebody please explain this? I'm 43. I'm 42. I always am 43.
Yeah, I wonder at one point if animals are brought out there
because of like maybe that is a thing, like people
to populate the island, and maybe they help with like
circle.
I know
life.
Goats help with clearing out fields and stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
You can rent them. You can rent them to clear land.
Yeah,
you know that
mm-hmm.
My neighbors did that.
I saw it in Seattle one time, just
so funny.
Next to the freeway.
Yeah,
there's just this hillside with a dozen goats on it.
Yeah,
it's so random.
She had this whole like trailer of goats that got dropped off at her yard, and they cleared all this stuff in the backyard, and then took them out. It's like, this is wild.
Those
Rent
goats,
the goat.
I know, man. I wonder if there's like a union for those goats.
I hope
make sure they're fairly paid.
I think for them, the act of clearing the land is a treat.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think they get paid time off?
I don't think that's.
Do they have like unlimited vacation policy?
Listen, I'm gonna ask AI, what do goats get?
On that note.
Speaking of goats, you're great. Thanks for today.
Thank you, Jamie. Bye, everybody.